Hey guys, welcome to Running Reimagined. For those of you that don't know, my name is Dylan Hopper. I come out with videos every single week that help give you a tip or a trick to improving and hopefully over time transforming your running experience. So today's episode, today's tip has to do with proper arm motion and hand placement. I think this is a really minor thing but can lead to massive improvement. I wanted to be able to come up with this because last week I was at a race and people's arms and hands were all over the place. And I realized that this is a very easily missed thing that a lot of runners don't think about. And so I wanted to be able to come up and talk about it today. So then if you have a race this weekend, you can kind of start to work on these things. Because ultimately you're trying to build a new habit. And you basically have to break the old one. I have a couple tips today to help you be able to break those patterns. But if you think about it, your hand placement and your arm motion, you probably weren't taught when you started running, at 3-4 years old, just as a little kid. Your arms were everywhere, right? You were just running, but and if you haven't been taught it since, then, you just let your arms and hands go wherever they want. And you've built that rhythm, you've done that, 10,000 times for every step every step you take is one arm motion. And so your brain just thinks that this is where your arms are supposed to go. This is what your hands are supposed to do. So today, I wanted to be able to go over proper arm motion. So let's just go over that first. This is just a straight on view. You can see it just nice and easy. My arms, my elbows are tucked in. You kind of want to think about it like you're kind of in a box. You have two walls right here. Your arms shouldn't be out here. If you think about it like you're in a box, you're not going to be able to cross over like that. You're going to be right in here, and it's going to be up and down. I've heard two different analogies from two coaches that have helped me. One is hips to nips. So you're just barely hitting your hips, and you're just coming up to your nips. The other one, if you're starting to finish the race and you're starting to run faster, is pick the pocket, feed the mouth. Pick the pocket, feed the mouth. But that's generally at the end of races. You're not going to do that if you're running really long distances. From a side view, here your arm needs to be about 90 degrees. And again, you should just be nice and relaxed. None of this should be tense. You shouldn't be flexing. It's just a nice, easy arm motion. A way you can practice this is just by looking in the mirror. You can just do what I'm doing right here, but you can look at yourself in the mirror and, just all of a sudden you'll start to see this habit form. You can do it for, a minute on, minute off for a couple minutes, just right at the end of runs. I know in high school I used to do this after probably 3-4 runs a week. I would go in to the weight room and we had some mirrors and we'd look at ourselves and we'd do this for about 4 minutes, 1 minute on for 4 minutes. And that seemed to help a lot. So that's kind of the proper arm motion. For hand placement, I think this is severely undervalued. A lot of people, a lot of runners don't think about this and have never been taught this, but proper hand placement, I like to go, my hands just on top of my pointer finger. So just like that. I've also heard you can put these two together, you can put those together like that. I've had that. But yeah, this is what's comfortable for me. I've seen people do the whole straight hand thing, but what I notice is that when they do that, they tend to tense their hands so much that they have all this tension running all the way down their arm, and which is going to the rest of their body. That it can lead to you being tight up in your shoulders. So up here helps relax all of this up here. If you do, just another tip on the side, if you do start to cramp up here, what you can do is you can just drop your arms down, just take a deep breath, let it relax. I'll even close my eyes for a half a second, really visualize all of this relaxing, or visualize wherever the side ache is just relaxing. That's just kind of a side tip. I didn't really intend on going there, but yeah, so this is what I do. Now, a fun way to be able to reinforce this, because one of my problems was that I would flick my hand back. I would run like this, and then at the end of a race, when I was trying to run really hard at the last 100, I would always flick my hand back like that. And so there's two things you can do. One, I had a runner who was just as good as I was. He was even better than me at the time. And he had run behind me in every single one of my workouts. And all he did was every time I flipped my hand back like that, he'd yell fix. So he'd be like, fix, fix. And because there's so many times, most of the time, I never realized I was flipping my hand back. But that his only job was to tell me that my hand was going back. So if you have a running buddy who's about the same speed or even faster, is usually better, because then they can really just focus on your form. But have them just focus on your hands. Are you doing this? Are you too tight? Are you clenching a fist? Then it can be an easy way to break that pattern when all of a sudden you're in the groove of a workout. You're not really realizing what you're doing necessarily because you're focused on the time and the pace, and then all of a sudden as you create this motion, someone comes in your head and yells fix. That's one way that helped me. The other way that helped me, and I actually don't even know where I heard this from or where I got this tip, but I've done this with a few different high schools now, teaching this to different people, and it's a fun way to help you learn. And what I do is I take, these are Pringles chips. So I take Pringles chips, and I hold them the same way I would if I was running. And I'm going to take them and I'm going to go for a run with the chips. And I think usually doing workouts is better, and doing this multiple times is better, because what you're going to realize is the first time you do it, you're going to be so consciously aware that you're holding the chips that you're not going to want to break them. But if you're up here and you start to clench your fists, right, the chips break. So you have to be able to, your hand should be so relaxed that you can be able to hold a chip and it shouldn't break. And so you can be able to go like this. Now, if I was running like I used to run, and I was running like this, and I start to flip my arm back, the chip is going to break, because that motion is going to break the chip. So what you can do, go for your run, bring 2 chips with you, and when you come back, these chips should still be in place. You should be that relaxed. That's why I say you need to do it a couple different times, because the first time you're going to be so consciously aware that you have the chips in your hand that you're not going to want to break them. Especially if you do it during like an interval workout or some sort of maybe up-tempo workout where you're really starting to put stress on your body. That's usually when you start to notice those patterns and those habits. So that's what I would recommend, is to be able to do that during a workout. But it's a fun way to be able to reinforce it. If you're a coach, it's a good lesson that you can be able to teach your kids. And they have fun doing it. And plus you have some Pringles or some chips after. You don't have to use Pringles. You can use whatever chips you want. So that's my tip today, guys. I hope that helps you. If you know someone who might be able to benefit from this, or maybe you know another coach that could be able to use I almost said a tip like this, then let them know. It's my goal to reach as many people as possible. Please like the video, and I hope you guys have a great day and a great weekend. Take care.